Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on this TikTok video I just watched because, man, I'm going to say this much. There are people out there where, for some odd reason, they do not want women nowhere around the car. Like, they can't drive the car, they can't talk about the car, they can't work on the car, they can't sell you the car, they can't tell you facts about the car. Like, there's nothing that a woman can do surrounding the car. And what trips me out is that there will be female mechanics. Like, what was this? There was this one place where I can't remember where it took place at, but it was like the whole like mechanic shop, it was just ran by women. And so my thing is I don't know, maybe there's something that I don't know about a woman working on a car, but my thing is this: if you go to school, if you know everything you need to know, like you come from a family background of your family knows about cars and stuff, why would I not trust you to work on my car? Like, that's the type of stuff that be tripping me out. Like, I am going to be talking on this TikTok video, but I just wanted to talk on this weird, hatred about, or towards women that know about cars, or they do like work around cars or whichever. But anyways, so there's this TikToker named YungXLeen, and how it's spelled out is, in case if you wanted to see the video yourself, the name is YungXLeen, just in case you type up like young, like it's like a young person, like that form of young, and then lean, like you leaning on something, and then you can't find the account. So that's how the name is spelled. But anyways, the whole video, the guy is just being one of those annoying customers where I'm like, I'm glad I'm not working a customer service job anymore. Cause nah, man, there's at times where it's like, there's some customers where it's like, you gotta remain as positive as you can be, but they will try to bring that negativity out of you. Like, they'll say and do things where I'm like, fam, why did you decide to call me today? Like, why did you decide to, I guess, like, if I'm in YungXLeen's position, I'm like, why did you decide to call up this place today? It's like, there's all these other different places you could call up to get this, so, and that was the car that he wanted to get, was a Porsche Taycan or something like that. But anyways, nice car. I've never driven it before. I mean, in video games I've have, but in real life, no. It's one of those cars where I'm like, it's well, I ain't gonna say it's out of my price range. Like, I would buy that car, but it's not my preferred choice of a car, So, but anyways, yeah, but it was like but no, the guy calls up this place. That it's like I think it was a used car place or something like that. But he calls up YungXLeen. And so the whole call, he's being one of those annoying customers where I'm like, you just have to see the video for yourself, like to understand why I'm doing this podcast episode. But besides him trying to make it seem like that she didn't know what she was talking about, it's just that whole annoying customer thing. And I know people are going to probably be all like, oh, well, the customer is always right. The customer, no. He's not. My thing is this: if it came down between asking her about a Porsche or asking him about a Porsche, the bro didn't even know that the Porsche was electric. He talking about, oh, well, so the Porsche was $64,000. He's talking about, well, I want to walk out of there only paying 50. Wait a minute, timeout, flag on the play, 10-yard penalty. Let's go back on this. What do you mean you only want to pay 50,000? That's not what the car is listed. I can understand if it's like, okay, all I have is like 60, like, all right, so the car is 64. I'm saying 63, like 63, 62 tops. I think 60 would be, so just pure luck. But $50,000, you're knocking off $14,000 because this is what he said. He's like, I don't want to get the car and it's messed up and I have to put a gas tank on it. How do you put a gas tank on an electric vehicle? Like, you're gonna be, the funny thing is, he's gonna put the gas tank in the on the car, he's gonna fill the gas tank up, and then he's just gonna be driving around, and all of a sudden it's gonna be all like low. I imagine that's how electric cars are. They'll be like, low battery, please charge as soon as possible, or something like that. And then I don't know, it might click in his head that he needs to charge the vehicle, but he's gonna get to a point where he's all like, It's been a minute since I filled up my gas tank. Like, let me go and fill that up. Then a bunch of gas just starts just flowing out and stuff. And he's like, then I guarantee, and I promise you, he's gonna call up that car sales place, and he gonna be all like, how come you guys didn't tell me that this was an electric vehicle? Fam, there is a whole TikTok of the woman telling you that there was an electric vehicle. What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, that's one of those things where it's just, it reminds me of when I used to work at that cafe in Seattle, and how there was just some customers in there where it's like, you try explaining something to them and then they just refuse to listen. And now it's like, now I'm irritated, and it's like, I don't even know if they were trying to do that on purpose or if they're like that confused. But no, it reminds me of the time I remember where, so we had like this fruit bar area for breakfast. So they would, like, we had a sign up where it said, like, 60 cents per ounce and stuff. So anyways, customer, he gets like one of these big giant like soup bowls and stuff, puts all this fruit in there, weighs it. I think it was like $7. I think it was I remember it being over $5. But my thing is this though, right? If I know I'm getting that much fruit, I'm not gonna have a problem paying for it. If I know the price of that fruit, I'm not gonna have a problem paying for it. My thing is this, if I don't know what I'm buying, yeah, probably first time, I'm like, dang, man, that's expensive, and then, but yeah, going about my business, I'm like, I ain't going to ruin, that's something where I'm like, when you work a customer service job, you have like this new outlook on like how you want to be treated as a customer, and how you overall treat a coworker. Like, you don't want to have it where it's like you guys is having like this bad blood and y'all don't even really know each other like that. So I know when I worked at that, I mean, it was even like that before. Like, I never had no, well, no, there was the time in GameStops. I think, yeah, we all know that story, that trying to get Saints Row the Third, and that guy, he's like trying to get me to get a power up rewards card, and I'm like, fam, no kid came up to a GameStops to get a power-up rewards card. That's never been said in history. Any kid that has stepped foot into a GameStops has left with a video game. Not just a card. Yeah, maybe a card that was included, but a kid is leaving with a video game, all right? So, yeah, that was that guy. He's somebody that I'm like, you need to definitely work on your customer service skills, because the way that guy was carrying on, I'm like, yeah. It would have been nice if this guy in this TikTok would have dealt with that guy that worked at GameStops, because I was like, yeah, he definitely wouldn't have not wanted to buy that Porsche. But anyways, so the guy with the fruit, so he pays, he ranged up to like $7 or something like that. But that was the thing though, like, he got the biggest bowl, and then he put all this fruit in there, so it's like, yeah, bro, it's gonna be that much. But anyways, he's like, well, that's expensive. I'm like, yeah, it's the sign that says up there is 60 cents per ounce. You got the biggest bowl and you put a bunch of fruit in there, so that's usually how that's gonna go out and things. And so he's just up there arguing with me, and I'm like, I ain't got time for this. It's like, if this guy, if he's gonna swing, then swing. But I ain't got time for this. I don't want him to swing, but the way that he's talking, he act like he wants to swing. So if he swings, then I'm like, hey, that's one of those things where, before the fight even begins, I'm going to look at my supervisor, I'm going to look at my manager and be all like, hey, I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. You could still mail deposit my last check, however much it's going to be and all that stuff. Like, am I going to get paid for this week? They were like, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right, cool. Then that's what I'm just gonna go off on, dude. I'm like, all right, so for one, what you're not gonna do is be yelling in my face like you know me from somewhere. You don't know me, bro. Then you're gonna swing on me. So yeah, I was like, he didn't swing on me. I'm like, let me just clarify that. If he would have swung on me, I don't think I would be here doing this podcast episode. I think I probably, or at least I wouldn't have been this far in my podcast. I probably would have been just now starting the 100th season, or maybe a season before. I'm like, yeah, guys, so I just got out of prison for, aggravated assault. I guess, like, I didn't realize that, curb stumping somebody, that's a felony. So I'm like, just to let y'all know, I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. But yeah, the guy, he was really in my face yelling about some $7 fruit. So the line had started building up. I just looked at the next customer and was all like, how is your day going? I'm like, I'm not even going to respond to you. You already paid for the fruit. If you didn't want the fruit, you shouldn't have gotten the fruit. There's a clear sign up there that says, and it ain't like the sign is small, like it's like the size of a business card. It's a big, it's like, it was like printing off on one of them like pieces of paper, like, yeah, and printers and stuff. Like, it was on that size of a paper. Like, I'm trying to think, like, maybe, yeah, the size of a magazine or something. Right there on some glass where it's like, it would be hard to miss it, So anyways, but I was like, I got to thinking about that guy, and I'm like, man, there's some customers out there where it's like, you're not going to always be right. You're not. And that's something where I'm like, when I go into stores, and if they're like, oh, we have this, or we don't have that, or what are some other things? Like, so I can think of the time I remember I went to two Walmarts. I went to two Walmarts asking if they had a green screen, and that's when I had learned about, because I just thought, okay, if you look it up on the website, they have it in the store. So anyways, I didn't realize that Walmart, they had like an online store, like they had like a reselling store and stuff. So anyways, I go and I looked online. They said that they had green screens. I'm like, all right, cool. So let me go over to, no, I think I went to it was Best Buy and Walmart. Never mind. So no, it was Best Buy and just one Walmart. So, but I go to the Best Buy, and the guy, I asked him, I was like, do you guys have any green screens? The way that he answered that question, I'm like, fam, I know you watch movies. I know you watch movies with CGI and all that stuff, and you probably seen some behind the scenes. So I asked him, I was all like, hi, do you guys have any green screens in stock? He looked at me in the most confused way, and he was like, what is that? And I'm thinking to myself, what do you think a green screen is? I wanted to say that, but I didn't say that because I know I would come off as a rude customer if I said some stuff like that. So I was like, it's, they use it for like movies if they're trying to add some like background effect or something like that, but they're off in the studio. And then that's when he was like, oh, no, we don't have those. And I'm like, I wish I would have known that like 15 seconds ago instead of, trying to explain to you what a green screen is. But anyways, yeah, I was like, all right, let me try Walmart. I went over to Walmart because they said they had them too. So anyways, I go over there. And then the lady, it was funny because it was getting ready to be the same conversation. I was like, do you guys have any green screens and stuff? And she was like, what is that? But she hurried up and she was like, oh, no, wait a minute. I know what a green screen. She was like, yeah, we don't have those. And that's when she explained like the online stuff to me. And I'm like, that makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, I was like, you learned something new about those stories. What? Best Buy? I'm like, bro, hold on for a second. Let me check Best Buy, because I'm like, I could have sworn that there was they said that they had, I mean, yeah, obviously now they probably ain't gonna have it, but yeah, I just remember looking that up and I was like, nah, bro, they said that they had green screens. Now I gotta prove a point. I'm like, because I know I wasn't hallucinating that day. I know I don't be doing stuff like that. So I'm like, I know for a fact that I seen that they had green screens on their website. Let me check real quick. Okay, hold on for a second. Green screens. Because I'm like, that's crazy for them to extra. Yeah, there was all like but it was like, yeah, it was like the online. They don't really have that. I looked up green screens. They done showed me two treadmills, a laptop, a foldable phone, and watches. I'm like, the first thing is a green screen, but I'm like, fam, what is all this other extra stuff? So yeah, there'd be at times you be looking up things. I'm like, bro, what is you talking about? So, but anyways, Yeah, I was like that video though of that guy. I'm like, man, it really trips me out. Like getting back to that conversation where it's like there's just people out there that think that women don't know nothing about cars, and I'm like, fam, I done seen movies, and I know people will probably be thinking like, oh, okay, well it's fictional movies and stuff, but I'm like, but still, I imagine that they would have to learn a little bit about what they're. I'm not. My thing is this: if I'm doing a movie and I'm supposed to be in character, let's say a lawyer or something, I'm going to ask lawyers questions. I'm going to study about being a lawyer. Like you guys actually would have thought that I was like trying to become a lawyer the way I would have been studying. But I'm like, no, I'm just trying to do a movie, but I'm making sure of it that I do the movie accurately. All right. And then, but yeah, there was like one of my favorite movies is the movie Need for Speed. And there was the one girl that was in there where it was like they thought she didn't know nothing about cars. And but yeah, she ended up giving them like a whole like history lesson on the it was the last Mustang, I think they were saying. Well, in the movie that's what they were portraying. There was like the last Mustang that Shelby and Ford was, I guess, working on or something like that. And then but yeah, she was, yeah, gave them a whole lesson on it and stuff, and I was like, okay, I would trust her when it comes down to learning something about cars. And I'm like, and I know with the Fast and Furious movies, they a little bit far-fetched, but I imagine that the one girl that's like, yeah, she's supposed to be married to Vin Diesel in the movie, I imagine in real life, she knows a little bit about cars. It's like her being in one of the biggest like car franchise movies out there. I imagine if she went over to a dealership and she was buying a Porsche, whatever form of car, they're gonna be like, there's gonna be people that know her. They're gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, that's the woman from Fast and Furious. So that's why I'm like, and I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's probably, if we look on, well, no, yeah, I feel like I didn't see, well, no, actually, I take that back. It was more so about bikes and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, even bikes, I feel like that's a more complicated vehicle and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, you see where women, they be knowing about bikes. And I'm pretty sure there's some women out there that know about cars too. I feel like I didn't had a conversation where it's like, yeah, you heard a woman know something about cars and things. So yeah, but I'm like, even my mom, she knows a little bit. Well, she knows car names, but it's like she ain't all like, oh yeah, it's like a something liter when it goes at this top speed and this and that. Like, but yeah, she knows car names, like, so that's why I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, there's women out there that know about cars, and I'm like, and then the ones that are mechanics, I'm like, they definitely know about cars and stuff. I'm like, what my thing is this: put a average skilled mechanic up against an average skill, like, yeah, male mechanic up against an average, like, they both went to the same school, they had the same teachers, they studied the same stuff, had the same grades. What makes them different? Like, that would be my hard-hitting question. You have two mechanics, one being a woman, one being a man. They went to the same school. They had the same teacher. They had the same grade. They passed the same assignments, all that stuff. And it was like, yeah, they went up out of there. They both got a job at whatever mechanic shop and things. Both of them, both went to the same school. What makes them different? That's what I would like to know. So that's why I'm like, yeah, people, I'm like, y'all gotta chill with this disrespect towards like females that know about cars or hold on, correcting myself, women that know. Because no, I remember hearing that a while back. There's like, that's like derogatory towards women, calling them females and stuff. So I was like, I be trying to like stop myself, but there's at times where it's like, if I'm like saying like a female wrestler or a female actor or female mechanic, so yeah, like I'll say it in that way, but I don't want to like just leave it by itself and things. So yeah, women that know about cars, I'm like, they ain't just like, oh, they just doing it for show, doing it for play. I'm like, yeah, there's a YungXLeen woman, she know about cars. I'm like, that's what why in that video she was having to explain to the guy about the Porsche thing. So yeah, but I'm like, and it's, what's crazy is that I'm like, I would say that I know a little bit about cars, but I'm like, fam, she has a whole job working working for like a car company and stuff. So like, or at least like they sell like used cars. But I imagine you have to learn a little bit about that type of stuff. You can't just be like, that's like me going and working at a sneaker store and not knowing nothing about sneakers. It has to come from somewhere. So I'm assuming that this girl, she already knows about cars. She's like, okay, let me get this job at this used car sales place. I already know about cars. People, they ask me some history about a car, I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm like, man, it just really trips me out though. It's like you just see where people, they be carrying on like that. More so talking on that guy, and it's like, fam, she know more about cars than you, let's just say that. All right, so but Anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.